What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 221 of the 365-day graphic novel review challenge. Yesterday, I talked to you about a book based on a fantasy game, so today I'm going to talk to you about a book based on a different fantasy game. This is Magic the Gathering, Gerard's Quest, written by Mike Grell with art by Pop Mon. This is a 4-issue miniseries from Dark Horse Comics from the 1990s. I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering. Everything that I know about Magic came from this book, but I bought this book based solely on the strength of Mike Grell's name. I really like Mike Grell's Green Arrow stuff. He also was one of the guys behind Warlord from DC Comics from around the same time that he was doing Green Arrow. He is a really good writer, but you would not know that reading this book, because this is one of the worst books that I have read this year. It is mind-blowing just how bad this book is. It reads like it was written by somebody who has never even read or heard of a comic book and doesn't know anything about the structure of comic books or storytelling through the medium of comic books. It reads like that. Not like it was written by somebody who has written some really good comic books like Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters. I find it so hard to believe that this was written by Mike Grell, but it was. This book is bad because of just several different reasons. You will have characters who will, out of nowhere, launch into this exposition about how they grew up in a war-torn area of the world when they're talking to somebody who knows them very well and should already know this information about them. And I get that they are trying to convey information to the audience who may not know this information, but the character that this other character is talking to should already know all this information, so it's just really bad contrived writing. Then, out of nowhere, at times, you will have a flashback start happening, and it's really difficult to figure out, wait, is this set in the present day, or is this a flashback? No, wait, this is a flashback because that one character, they're not in the present day. But the book doesn't do a very good job of telling you that a flashback is happening right now. You'll have other books that will launch into a flashback, and they do a good enough job of letting you know, okay, this is a flashback that we're going into now. If you'll remember in The Watchmen, the issue where all the characters are having memories about the comedian while they're at his funeral, that issue does a really good job of telling you, okay, here's the present day, and then here's a flashback. It will show you a character in the present day, and then it will show you that same character in a completely different setting in the flashback. This book doesn't do anything like that. This will just, out of nowhere, you're in a flashback, and it's really difficult to tell where you are or how you got to this point. The book does not organically get to this point in the flashback. It's just, okay, I guess the audience needs to know how these characters met their captain and how they got to this point in their lives, so we need to throw them a flashback at this point in the story. It does not arrive there organically. Also, a lot of these characters, they just don't feel very real to me. We are thrown right into the middle of a big battle, and none of these characters actually come alive for me. And part of that is that there are way too many characters in this book. This is a 4-issue miniseries. We probably could have removed one or two of the characters here so that all of the other characters could have gotten a little bit more screen time and could have felt a little bit more three-dimensional. I'm not saying that that would have fixed all of the problems of this book, but that would have made some of the characters feel a little bit more like actual characters instead of just vessels that are carrying out the plot. Also, I don't understand some of the characters in this book. This is more of an art problem than a story problem, but at one point, one of these characters, he summons an angel to help him do battle in the first issue of this book. And I was thinking, okay, she looks exactly like one of his teammates who is on the ship. Was she an angel pretending to be a human this entire time? And like, nobody on the ship is turning their head and acting surprised at this turn of events. So I was thinking, okay, everyone on the ship knew that she was an angel except for this guy who summoned her. He's the only one who seems to act surprised. And then he destroys this ring, and then she disappears into a portal, and again, nobody seems surprised that that happens. And I was thinking this whole time, okay, she is one of his teammates because she looks exactly like one of his teammates. But then you turn the page and there's his teammate acting like nothing weird happened. Okay, so this is a completely different character who looks exactly the same. This is a problem. Now, I'm not going to say that I am a really good artist, but I feel like if I was an artist, I would try very hard to make sure that all of the characters look a little bit different so that if you introduce a new character, people aren't saying, hang on a second, is that the same character that we've already seen in this issue? There are so many more things about this book that I could talk about, things that just make this book wildly unreadable. Needless to say, if you were ever interested in this book, if you are a big Magic the Gathering fan, and then you heard that Mike Grell, who wrote one of the really good fantasy stories from DC Comics in the 1980s, wrote this miniseries, please do everything you can to avoid this book. It is not worth your time. This book is just a series of non sequitur events leading one right into another. Nothing in this book makes any sense at all. It is really bad. That is about all that I have to say about Magic the Gathering Gerard's Quest. I feel like I've lost brain cells just talking about this book for as long as I have. I hope that you guys like this review. If you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you about another book tomorrow. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.